Okay, this is the second lesson, pre-algebra class of the week, lesson 38, using properties of equality to solve equations. I think you'll find that this lesson and the next two, 39 and 40, are very doable, very easy, a lot easier than 37. Okay, and actually I don't have a problem if you want to start at 38, 39 and 40, and then go back to 37 at the end of the week or on Sunday. Okay, so 38, using properties of equality to solve. Okay, go down to the new concept. All right, and so we have practiced solving equations by inspection using logical reasoning, which basically means just solving equations, just looking at them. All right, in this lesson, we're going to use inverse operations to solve equations. Inverse operations undo each other. Addition and subtraction are inverse operations. Okay, inverse are the opposite. Addition, the opposite is subtraction. Multiplication and division are opposite or inverse operations. Multiplication, the opposite is division. Any number can be used for n in the equations above to perform the operations. The result in every case is n. Okay, I'll show you what that means. Okay, so here we have the balance scale shows the weight on the left side equals the weight on the right side. We can represent the relationship with this equation. So we have x plus 5 equals 12. Okay, x plus 5 equals 12. So we have x plus 5 equals 12. Now the purpose of all these things is to find out what x is, or what you don't know. And it has to be balanced on the left side and the right side. Each of these equations is divided into a left side and a right side, and they need to equal each other. So the question is, what number goes in for x to make this balance? Now you've been solving this just looking at it before, and of course you probably can do that in your head. What number plus 5 is equal to 12? But what we're going to do now is we're going to start doing these mathematically. And the way to do it mathematically is you're going to move whatever is on the same side as your variable to the other side. In this case, on the left side we have a plus 5. We want to move the plus 5 to the other side. And the way to do that is to do the opposite of what you see here. The opposite of plus 5 is subtract 5. Okay, what that does is it gets rid of the 5 here, and then now it just leaves you with x on the left side. And 12 minus 5 is 7. Okay, and you probably did that in your head. 7 plus 5 is 12. Okay, so that's what we're doing here. We are going to be doing the inverse and finding the answer to these, because sometimes you're not going to be able to do them in your head. Okay, sometimes you're going to be doing them in your head. So like, for example, addition. All right, addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. Addition looks like this. If we have a plus sign, that means addition. Subtraction sign looks like this. The two that are sort of new probably, for multiplication, if you see two letters or a number beside a letter with nothing in between, that means multiplication. Division, if you see a line like a fraction, that means division. So A divided by C or B divided by C. Okay, so let's look at the first example. We have, after spending $2.30, Robert had Robert had $5.70. How much money did he have before he spent $2.30? Solve this equation to find your answer. Okay. Okay. So let me get my thing here, chalkboard. So we have x minus 230 equals 570. Okay. Now we want to move. See that we want to solve for x, and it's on the left side of our equation. And the thing that's on the left side is this minus 230. So we want to move that minus 230 to the other side. So what we have to do is you have to do the opposite of minus. The opposite of minus is add. So we need to add 230 to both sides. What that does is that gets rid of our number here, leaving just x on the left side. Now we add it there, and that will be $8. So that's what the answer is. The answer is $8. Okay, let's see if I got it right. There we go, $8. Okay, look at the second example. In a 12-month subscription to a magazine, it costs $8.40. What is the average cost per month? And they've set up the equation for you. Okay, so let's do that. Edit, select all, edit, cut. Okay, so we have 12m is equal to 840. Okay, so again, we're solving for m. We're solving for our variable. What side is it on? Is it on the left side or the right side? It's on the left side. We need to, what else is on the left side? This 12. We need to move it to the other side. How do I move it? Well, this means multiplication, 12 times m. So you have to do the opposite, which is division. If I divide, that leaves me just the m on this side, and I do 840 divided by 12, which would be, let's see, I'm going to take a guess at this and say it is 70 cents. Well, look at that. I was right on the money. Okay, good. All right. Okay, let's look at example 3. Now, example 3 is, I don't think it's that hard, but people do get mixed up with it. We have 2/3 W is equal to 3/4. Okay, so we have our variable again is on the left side. We need to move the 2/3 over to the other side. Now let me show you what they do with fractions. In order to move a fraction over to the other side, you need to flip it and multiply. Okay, so I flip this fraction, the reciprocal, and I multiply it by both sides. What that does is 3 times 2 is 6, 2 times 3 is 6. It gets rid of the fraction. And then I do it to the other side. 3 times 3 is 9. 4 times 2 is 8. So the answer is 9/8. Okay. Make sure you watch this again for the fractions. That's a common mistake. People don't know what to multiply. All you're doing is just flipping it, multiplying it by both sides. Okay. 9/8 is the answer. Okay. And example 4. All right, example 4, our last example, I believe, here, and then we have our practice set. Okay, all right, so we have 1.5 is equal to x minus 2.3. This time that x is on the right side. Okay, you want to get the x by itself, or you want to isolate it. So you want to move this negative 2.3 to the other side. How do I do that? Well, what's the opposite of minus 2.3? It would be add 2.3. Okay, add 2.3. That gets rid of it. Add those together. That would be 3.8 is equal to x. Okay, 3.x is equal to 8. There you go. Okay, so go ahead and do the practice set, A through I. You'll have to go back and look at some of the vocabulary for this chapter. It's asking you, what does isolate the variable mean? Okay, I'll give you a little hint. This variable is isolated. Okay, what operation is the inverse or the opposite of subtraction? What operation is the opposite or inverse of multiplication? And then you want to solve for the variable in these. Okay, good luck. You can work together with someone else, remember. Okay, bye-bye.